Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Strange and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, episode number 10, also known as the Makeover episode, hashtag Crew Better Work. We can basically always expect there to be a makeover challenge during the season, so I was super excited to see that this season they were going to be making over the crew members. Before I get into this episode, I just want to apologize that it's a little bit late. I'm actually filming this on Saturday, which is the day after it aired, and pretty late at night. I kind of was pulling a Nina Bonina and was in my head a lot today and just couldn't bring myself to film a video, but I'm feeling better now. And last night, I was actually at the Work the World Queens tour. It was the first stop in Toronto, and Alaska was there. You know how I feel about Alaska. This is actually a shirt from the show. It's the tour merch that has the dates on the back and the Queen's eyeballs on the front. Like there's Alaska and Bianca, and my rogue hair is falling all over it. Anyways, there's a bunch of queens there. So yeah, I picked up this shirt. It was a great show. I also picked up this fan, and I can only warp it once because it's really loud and pisses my cat off, but anyways, yeah, they have like these really cool promo fan things that they were selling at the show, and I saw Bianca, Shangela, Alaska, Detox, Alyssa, Kimchi, and Valentina, who I'm just realizing isn't even on this fan. Anyways, it was a great show, but by the time I got home, I was so exhausted. I tried to watch Drag Race and I fell asleep. I was just, I couldn't, I was so exhausted last night. For whatever reason, that show made me work it out, and I went home and went to bed. So I'm filming this the next day. Like I said, I had a long day, and so this is kind of at night, so I'm gonna post this on Sunday. Sue me. So the beginning of the episode, the queens didn't really talk about Valentina's lip sync for your not knowing the words life, and it was mostly focused on Nina's not really realizing that she just served a great lip sync and is safe and just won that lip sync. Instead, she's, you know, in her head again, being sad and depressed and doesn't feel like she did a good job, and the queens are pretty much totally over trying to talk Nina out of her head. It's kind of getting also tough to watch her beat herself up so much because she is so talented, so I can only imagine how frustrating it must be to be those queens in that workroom with her, trying to constantly motivate her when they're there to win and they're there to motivate themselves, and it's a lot to process and have to watch and I'm sure be there around. So here's hoping that Nina is a little bit better now that Drag Race is over and she's seeing how much fans love her. Speaking of Nina, this week's comment deals with Nina Bonina's in her headness. And this comment comes from Gianni M2, and Gianni left me a couple of comments on the last video, so thank you, Gianni, if I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The comment I'm going to talk about is, imagine if Nina engaged with the voices like Katya did. Would we love her more? I think so. If Nina was as insane as Katya, plus the look, I can't see why we wouldn't love her more. I feel like part of Nina's storyline is her being in her head and down on herself and underdog-like, and her makeup skills are amazing. So I'm sure if she was just as kooky and crazy as Katya, we would definitely love her more. Let me know what you guys think. Would you love Nina more if she was just as cuckoo like Katya? So like the title of this week's episode, the queens are going to be making over the crew members of RuPaul's Drag Race, the sound guys, the PAs, one of the, I'm pretty sure he's the assistant director of it, I didn't quite catch it, but Duncan is one of the directors for sure. Anyways, the queens are making over the masculine crew members who film them getting into drag every week. Well, every day. Since Sasha and Shay won last week's episode, they get to then pick who is going to make over who for this episode, and they did a really good job. I feel like every single person they picked for each queen, every crew member that they picked for each queen, was spot on. Whether it was actual appearance-wise or personality-wise, the picking of who went to who can honestly make or break some of these queens, and they did a spectacular job. For the makeover challenge, they have to make the crew member look like a part of their drag family, you know, makeup, wardrobe, personality, the whole package, and then they're also going to have to do a lip sync to Click Clack by RuPaul. And I'm excited because Click Clack is one of my favorite RuPaul songs. I listen to it all the time when I'm at work, mopping. It's just such a fun song. So I'm really excited to see these queens turn it out. So the queens have to teach their crew members how to walk in heels and tuck and all the fun things that come along with doing drag. And Nina decides that she is going to sew for the first time. This is the Mother RuPaul 11th cycle of RuPaul's Drag Race. This is the 9th season plus 2 All-Stars, 11th cycle. And you're telling me somebody on the episode, somebody in the season, doesn't know how to sew. Oh my god. It needs to be a fucking prerequisite next season, season 10, that you need to sew in the damn audition video. Part of the audition video should be that you have to prove that you can sew, because if you can't sew by this point, I'm sorry, why are you on Drag Race? Even I can sew a little bit, and I have no reason to know how to sew, but I have a handheld sewing machine, and sometimes when you rip something, it's good to use to sew it up. Or, you know, if I make a hem on something, it's not that hard. But to try to learn how to sew when there are 6 queens left, and you're on season 9, the 11th cycle, come on. And by the sounds of the Ru walkthrough, it looks like Sasha Velour might have the hardest crew member to work with, because Duncan is, like I said before, one of the directors of the show, and therefore Ru has one of the biggest bonds with him out of all the other crew members. And also, by the sounds of what I have heard about Duncan now, is that he is really strict, he is very stern, he is very serious. So Sasha's gonna really have to shake the funny and the drag out of him, is what I'm thinking. But I mean, he ends up really just going with it, which is awesome. Like all the drag queens on season 9, Nina's crew member is now also trying to talk Nina out of being in her head. He relates to her and explains his story a little bit and tries to help Nina get out of her head. And I'm like, look, Aaron is jumping in with all the other queens and is trying to... He's really becoming a drag queen, because apparently in season 9, all the drag queens have to try to talk Nina Bonita out of depression, and he's jumping on in too. The judges this week are Mama Ru in an amazing gown done by Zaldi, who is also on the judges panel this week. Zaldi is epic, okay? Also joined by Kesha, come on, and Michelle Visage and Ross Matthews, and I'm like, I'm ready for this judges panel. Because I feel like Kesha don't hold back, Zaldi knows what he's talking about when it comes to fashion, Michelle Visage is Michelle Visage, Ross Matthews, he's like your gay best friend, like everything he says you just gotta love, and then Mama Ru. Stunning. Each pairing of queen and crew member go down the runway in their look, and then after all the queens do that, they do the lip sync. So I'm going to talk about each queen's pairing with the lip sync that they do. So first up is Trinity Taylor and Glittifa Days, and they had a very strong family resemblance from head to tuck to toes, really. And they look like they were ready to go swimming. They were looking like they were having a fun time. Their choreography during the lip sync was great. It was cohesive, and it really worked with the song, and no complaints there. Shea Coulee and Bay Coulee. Now, there was definitely a resemblance, but Bay Coulee, when her wig flopped over and was covering her face like Valentina's lip sync last week, you knew Shea was going to be in trouble. And, I mean, the resemblance of being part of Shea's family, being a Coulee, it was there, but I was also thinking, doesn't Shea kind of always do that same hairstyle? And whether it's in a color or blonde or whatever, I feel like her hair's always like swooped to that one side. So it worked in that they look like they were from the same family, but I'm also thinking, is Shea repeating a lot of what she's doing? I want to go back and look at all of her looks for this season. Like, I really like Shea, but I think that that's like, I don't know if that's her style or if that's just her, like, it's an easy go-to wig, I'm not sure, but I was kind of realizing that while I was watching them dance, that hair just is it just seems very repetitive. Alexis Michelle and Ryan Stardust. I was not impressed with them. I liked their glitter eyebrows. I was with Kesha on that, but when it came to when they were like critiquing them, all I could stare at was Alexis's lace. It was so badly done. Whether it just was crispy, crunchy, falling off her head, not blended in, dirty, like all I could see was her fucking lace, and it was driving me crazy. I just wanted to like glue it down for her. I mean, it was her sister's was better. Ryan Stardust was better than Alexis Michelle's, but that's pretty much all I could notice. Then we had Nina Bonita Brown and Ariana Bonita Brown surfing out some big booty bunny rabbits, and from the neck up, I thought they looked cool. From the neck down, it looked like pretty much every single runway Nina's done so far, or not every single runway, but it's very like go-to basic. Didn't really have time to plan an outfit look, which is exactly what happened because Nina wanted to sew an outfit and then it didn't work, so then she had to go with what she had. But I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how those green jumpsuit things were gonna work as bunnies. I still didn't get it. I think they were green jumpsuits. I don't know. I'm confused by that. Don't get me wrong, like I said before, I love Nina Bonita's face, but it seems like the rest of it isn't on the same level. Then we had Sasha Velour and Donatella Velour, and they killed it. They were my favorite of the week. Trinity's was really good too, but there was something about Sasha's that just pushed it over for me. I liked hers better. During the click-clack lip-sync part, the way that Sasha and Donatella looked versus that song, that is not the kind of song you perform while looking like that. But they made it work, and that's what made me like them even more, was because they looked amazing. I think they looked better like than pretty much everyone else. And when you take that and then look at what some of the other queens did, like, I really thought it was going to be either Sasha or Trinity, but Sasha and Trinity's were my favorites of the week for sure, and I think most people's. And then lastly, you had Peppermint and Wintergreen, and Wintergreen scene stealing, stole the show. I would 100% go see Wintergreen if Wintergreen was performing in my city or performing anywhere, and I really hope that's not the end of Wintergreen's drag career, because bitch was funny, fierce, killed it. She was more entertaining than some of the queens literally on the show this season, and you cannot deny that. So here's hoping for more Wintergreen in the future. But Shay and Bay, Alexis and Ryan, and Nina and Ariana were clearly the three bottoms of the week. Peppermint definitely skidded by thanks to Winter. She held on and wasn't considered in the bottom. But even like during Click Clack, the three Shay, Trinity, and Nina pairings were just not as good as the others. They were kind of boring. But I will say actually, Peppermint and Wintergreen's outfits were horrible. So if it wasn't for their personality, they definitely would have been in the bottom. And yeah, it was clear that Nina was going to be in the bottom. And then there was the debate between Michelle and Ross about Alexis or Shay being in the bottom. And it looks like Michelle won because Shay ends up being in the bottom with Nina. Nina and Shay have to lip sync against each other to Demi Lovato's School for the Summer, which was kind of weird because Kesha's on stage and Kesha is a singer, and usually they kind of perform, if the judges are a musician, they usually perform one of their songs, so it's kind of weird that they just didn't, but okay, whatever. And Nina basically doesn't do a lot. She doesn't quite Charlie Hides or Valentina herself, but she also just kind of gave up. You could tell she looked very sad trying to lip sync against Shay, and Shay could tell, I think, so Shay kind of also looked like she held back a bit. And in the end, Nina did go home and Shay stayed, which, I mean, Nina didn't even think she was going to make it this far. In one of the episodes even, who was it? Oh gosh. Early in one of the episodes, was it Aja? I can't remember right now, but in one of the earlier episodes, one of the queens says that they're gonna leave stuff for Nina because Nina didn't really have a lot of stuff with her because she didn't think she was gonna make it that far. Do you remember this happening? I can't remember right now which queen said that. I want to say Aja, but I don't think it was Aja. I don't remember. One of the queens though left some stuff for Nina because, like I said, Nina thought she was gonna go home way before and made it this far. I think it was good. I'm really hoping though Nina has, since Drag Race and seeing all of us fans, you know, boost her up, that she is mentally doing a lot better, hopefully. Let me know what you all thought about this week's episode. Do you think that it was Nina's time to go? Do you think she overstayed? Do you think she didn't stay long enough? And who do you think is going to win? We are getting really close. I think that the top contenders are probably Trinity and Sasha, in my opinion. Maybe also Shea Coulee, but I kind of see Alexis and Peppermint going soon. And that's it, because oh my gosh, there's only 5 queens left. We are so close to the finale. What are we gonna do without Drag Race? It's not over yet, but it's starting to feel like it's over. Oh, what are we gonna do? So thanks again for watching this video. Make sure you leave a comment down below because I will talk about your comment next week if you leave one and I feel like adding more to what you have to say. Also, I'm like super close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could hit subscribe, I would forever be grateful to you, and I will definitely upload a video of me doing drag if y'all hit me at least 1,000 subscribers. That's what I keep telling you, so click that. There's also gonna be some other videos coming up on my channel too, so you might want to subscribe to see other things other than Drag Race because I'm planning them out as we speak. Once again everyone, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.